Happy Thursday and welcome to the Sporty Show. I'm your host, Sara Alex, and we have a busy weekend ahead and a very special show today, gentlemen, with one Duke from Leganés joining us on the Sporty Show in just a few moments. But before Duke, of course, it has to be the one and only KlintonCod.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Boy, I was saying, today is a beautiful day the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice. To be honest, I'm not happy Barcelona did win yesterday. I was hoping that they would lose just like my dear Real Madrid did lose for me to be happy and taunt my dear Sara. But unfortunately for me, I see her all smiling. But maybe the return leg, I would be hopeful that it's going to be the opposite of what she felt like yesterday. But before we go into the games, it's time to introduce this short man next to me, Alex Ashmore. Alex, what are you saying, brother?
Doing well. How are you?
Actually, I'm not good.
Why not?
Because Barcelona won, obviously.
Ah, but it's a new day.
I mean, it's not a new day. Because
it doesn't feel like a new day. It feels like 20 minutes since we were sat here.
Yeah, no.
But no, doing well. Excited for the weekend ahead.
Yeah, and we're all going to be at Butarque for Leganés versus Barcelona. Obviously, we have a massive challenge as well, KlintonCod. During the halftime show, Clinton will be taking on Valencia, Barcelona, Middlesbrough, and Lazio legend Gaitka Mendieta, which is going to be fantastic. We have a lovely show, pre, post, all of it for you guys on Saturday, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We cannot wait for it. Meanwhile, we also have Chantal on the show today covering social media. Hi, Chantal.
Hi, Sara. Hi, Alex. Welcome, Clinton. Yes, I'm here, and I'm looking forward to the comments, of course. Leave the juicy comments, and I'll be picking the best ones. So you know the drill, guys. Leave the juicy comments.
Chantal, I'm warning you again. If anybody speaks any ill stuff about me and you read it out, we're going to have a problem.
Chantal, if you don't, I will,
I'll
so
try
don't
my best.
worry.
Right, okay, I see now. So it's everybody against me. I see how it is. But, it's calm still. No, it's fine still.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. All right. Well, let's get into what's coming up on today's show just before Duke joins us. Here's what's coming up on the Sporty Show today.
Coming up on the Sporty Show, we've got an action-filled lineup of football to discuss, and we have a special guest joining us. We'll take a look at Leganés taking on Barcelona. Can the underdogs cause an upset, or will Barca keep their title hopes alive? We've got our eyes on the Europa League, with huge matchups on the horizon as the first leg of the quarter-final kicks off. Plus, we will look ahead to a massive weekend of football, from title races to relegation battles across Europe's top leagues. We've also got you covered with all the booking codes. It's all coming your way on The Sporty Show.
All right, now we told you we have a special guest here today, a forward for Leganés right here in Madrid, Luis Enrique de Barros Lopes, better known as Duke, and Leganés are, of course, playing Barcelona this weekend on Saturday. You know, you've had a couple months here, obviously still transitioning. You've played 5 matches so far. You're trying to get more minutes here, but it's obviously difficult with the likes of, some of the players up front. Dani Raba, obviously. We saw him over the weekend, that last-minute goal. You guys got a point from Osasuna. How are you feeling about trying to get some more minutes here at Leganés?
Yes, I come here to play, to try to help Leganés to stay in La Liga. I'm waiting for the opportunities. Didn't get a lot of minutes, but I think the minutes that I play, I try to do my best.
Yeah.
And I think I did well. So I'm now working to get more minutes and to can help the team.
Are you hoping to play against Barcelona this weekend?
Oh, for sure, I want to play. I want to play. So
you want to score, you want to win.
How would you feel if you score a goal against Barcelona right now? Would you see that kind of goal as a goal that goes in your history books for yourself?
Surely.
I don't think so.
Yes, good. I love the fact that you don't rate Barcelona that much. Thank you. That's why. Say it again, man. There's somebody here that needs to hear.
I'm a striker, and striker used to do goals. So it's just if I play first, if I score, it's just another goal. But important goal.
Yeah.
Barcelona is.
Who's the most important player in Barcelona for you right now?
Right now, you have 2.
No, just give me one.
One.
Yes. Because everybody knows the two you will probably mention.
No, I'm going for Rafinha. Yeah. But Yamal can stay.
I knew he was going to give some kind of honorable mention somewhere.
Rafinha and Yamal for me.
I mean, obviously, those are the two that everybody would, especially her being a Barcelona fan, these are the only two players that
A Leganes fan? What are you talking about? I'm
right.
always Leganes.
Okay. Once Leganes, always Leganes. Cool. But why would you go for Rafinha? Like, over, obviously, I said take one, and you went for Rafinha. Why? Like, what was your reason for it?
Because Rafinha contribute more for the goals, and I like players who can score goals, do assists, make the difference. Of course, Yamal is a dribbler, he's a very good player, but I like more direct players. So, yeah.
So are you part of the generation of players that you would define as, I just love, goal is my, this is what I want to do, right? You don't fall under the type that would say, I just love the fun of football. Like the Lionel Messi and what we speak about the Lamine Yamal, where they want you to enjoy that whole style of giving people that, fun, that enjoyment before producing the goal. What sort of player are you in that regards?
This question, I'm a striker.
Right, yep.
I will tell you, score goals, that's the most important thing in football. So for me, dribbling...
It's not your forte.
No.
I mean, the reason I'm saying is because because I'm one of the top strikers in Luton. You see, when I used to play back in the days,
Come on,
Vincent, beware, because I told him to ask his teammates that trained with you.
No, because your teammates trained with me. Again, it's because I have something I will have to prove on Saturday, right? And your teammates pretty much felt like, I should have made it in maybe a club like Real Madrid. As a matter of fact, no, but for real though, I feel like I am good enough to represent a team like Real Madrid. But you know how it is in Africa, where somehow, teams are kind of like kill the dream, kill the career. And I ended up in Luton FC.
We don't get a lot of opportunities.
The opportunity is not there, exactly. I like the fact that you believe me, because this guy, it's hard to convince them.
It's because he hasn't seen you play.
Well,
But they're looking good. The physics is there.
No.
The mentality is
Thank you. Thank
good.
you.
If it was up to you, you two would just do the show on your own.
No, I love people that speak my language.
He's just being nice. He's being
He's
polite.
not being nice. He's being real. He's been real.
Okay. Okay. Well, you did train with some of the players yesterday. Absolutely. You also have a big challenge during the Leganes and Barca match. At halftime, Clinton has challenged Gaizka Mendieta, former Spanish player for Valencia, Barcelona, Middlesbrough, and Lazio, to a football challenge. So I know you're going to be in the locker room with your coach. You guys are going to be talking, but we'll send you the video because Alex and I are positive it's going to be amazing for us.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Sorry? You see the kind of things I have to do with, right?
They joke with you.
No, yeah, exactly, yeah.
They joke. They don't
on
believe in you.
They don't believe in me, but on Saturday I'm going to make history. Right? I don't care if he was a Spanish legend, a Barcelona legend, whatever. That's not how I think.
That is the mentality.
I just know that I go there, I do my job, I get out, and I come out with the praises. Like I said, I trained with your colleagues and they pretty much, I scored one of the best free kicks. They just didn't see it. They turned off the camera by the time I scored the free kick, right? But the goals I scored, my penalties, my dribbling, and on Saturday, listen, by the time I finish, we will not need to play the second half. You will not need to play Barcelona. So make sure yourself and your team, you have the first goal in the first half, because when I come in the halftime, they will not need to continue again.
So after Saturday, they will respect you more, eh?
After Saturday, they'll be privileged to have me here.
Okay, wow.
This is building up so nicely for us, Alex. Because when it goes poorly,
No, it's not definitely
my. Remember?
I don't believe in poorly.
Really? Declan Rice?
Declan Rice learned from me.
You wish. Okay, regarding Barca, I spoke to Marco after the match against Osasuna and just how you guys are mentally preparing for this game, knowing that Barca are still unbeaten in 2025. Let's take a look at what he said.
It was also unbeaten until before Las Palmas and Leganés and Atletico win them in the last weeks in the December. No exist one unbeaten team. So everything has a weakness. But obviously Barcelona is in a huge form, one of the best teams in the world. They are playing great football, but also Atletico Madrid, when they came here, they came after 15 I think wins in the row, so they lost here. So in football is very interesting in the best sports in the world because everything can beat everyone. Obviously they are much better team, biggest talents, and everything is better, but every team in the football has options. We will try to, to score our few options what we have, and we have to defend like we did in Barcelona.
I also asked them how important Butarque is to you guys, because obviously playing in front of your home fans, they always show up. But Leganés did beat Barcelona in the first leg of the draw here. And I love Marco because he's always positive. Like, he's going into it talking realistically about football. It could be, it could go either way. Is that the mentality that the team has right now?
Yes, that is the right mentality. You can see speak very well. Barcelona is a very good team, but we beat them in the first leg. We know now it's more difficult to win against them because we beat them there, so they come to show that was a mistake. And yeah. It's like Marco said, if we don't believe in ourselves, who else will believe? And we trust a lot in ourselves, and I think we can get a result.
Yeah.
So we will try.
You have to.
To get something, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that goalkeeper, though? Because when I was training with him, I felt like that guy, he's one of the funniest persons I've met.
He's so good.
How do you guys deal with him, during trainings or even during... I feel like if he was my goalkeeper and I was playing, I would just remember him and I would kick the ball over the bar. So
He's a crazy guy.
No, he's very crazy.
Did you see his head? What happened to him?
I don't know.
I asked it. He's looking like Pep Guardiola. He has cuts all over his head. I said, Marco. He goes, football.
Same. Wait. How long ago was that interview, though?
This is Monday. This is after Osasuna.
Oh, yeah, because I literally...
Yes, he says.
It was
training.
there. I mean, when I first saw him, I thought obviously there was some kind of mental health issues going on. But because he was training me, I had to just keep my cool. Just to be sure but if it was just something that's there and it's because of football, I guess it's just because of the passion, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
I want to ask you about Yan Diomande as well, because we've seen him really shine since coming 18 years old, such a bright, young talent coming from Ivory Coast, playing on the wing. What do you think about him as a footballer?
Talented.
Yeah.
Very good player, explosive, and good dribble.
Yeah.
And I think he can improve a lot. He has a lot of potential. And very good news for us to have him in the team. So I hope he can help us to stay in La Liga.
Yeah, with both of you guys now at Leganés, and then you mentioned Cisse, we know Neyu is there. There's a few Africans on this team. What does it mean for you personally to be an African in representing Africa in Spanish football, especially now that on the jersey, reminding you all that we have, there you go. What does that mean, though, to you?
It's special, it's good, because we can talk as well about African Cup. Me and you are in the same group.
Yeah, he's right behind you in Cameroon.
Yeah, he's behind us, so I joke with him, he joke with me, and that's good. Yeah.
Did you know that Cape Verde is top of the group for the World Cup qualifiers? Where's Nigeria in their group?
Sorry, can we avoid that conversation now, please? Can we talk about something else? Like every time we don't have to bring in Nigeria in every conversation. Let's celebrate Cape Verde. Let's celebrate the fact that, by the way, in your country though, especially during the last AFCON, when your country played, there was the cameo. You know what I'm about to say, right? The cameo was just all about the ladies.
They don't focus football.
No. Of course, no. We were watching their women more than we were watching football.
No, I remember. I'm not getting involved.
And guess what? I don't know if you saw the surge in the amount of people that started trooping into your country, right? And I was one of them. I booked a flight, but there was no time to go, right? And knowing that we share exactly the same passion when it comes to the beautiful women, both here in Spain and around the world, right? Okay, you see, now we've entered women. I can't concentrate again. But no. Listen. I think the world needs to hear more about Cape Verde. You know, I think it's one of the most prettiest
Have you been?
islands.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have never been. No, but this is pure facts, though.
Do you go back a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When was the last time you were there?
I went there national team, so
Yeah.
1 year ago.
Yeah?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so I born there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I born there. I went to Portugal with 9.
When you were 9?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I live a lot of time there.
Yeah. Are you hoping to, I mean, obviously the hope is Cape Verde qualify for the World Cup. They're looking good. You can tell Neo, watch out. But are you hoping that you're going to get the call-up for this World Cup squad? And what would that mean to you?
I believe we have a fantastic team,
Yeah.
great players. So, yeah, but we need to go game by game.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited and try to do the things good. Yeah.
You leave Leganes today. Sorry, I'm just diverting from the countryside. You leave Leganes today. What team do you wish or hope to see yourself playing for?
Tell me.
I said you leave. Let's say your contract finishes and you feel like you've done everything you need to do for Leganes. You are now a legend of the club, and you want to go find some kind of challenge in a whole different club. You know, which club would be your favorite to join at this point?
Me with the 36, 38, yeah?
Okay, well, and don't tell me Saudi. Don't
Maybe.
say Al. Don't start with Al.
I think I've got a thought in my head, but you answer.
Maybe I go back to Aberdeen.
Ooh.
All right, let's be serious with the question now. Yeah, let's be very serious. Let's talk about the Premier League, for example.
One team in Premier League?
Yeah.
Oh. Man United. Man United is my dream.
Fair enough. I mean, that made me happy, but still.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything.
Let's just end it there. Let's end it.
No, because I want him to have a long, prosperous career. So do what you want with that information. And what was your favorite team growing up? Was it Benfica?
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously you came through the ranks there. Do you still follow them?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So you have some more revenge for Barcelona then, I guess.
Yeah, from the looks of it.
We're building it up. There's a story here for Duke. You said you didn't watch too much of the Champions League, but you obviously knew the results. Barcelona aside, how impressed were you? Maybe did you see some of the goals? We talked about Declan Rice, but Desiree Doué and Kvaratskhelia scored amazing goals for PSG. Did you see some of these goals?
Yeah. I see all the goals. I like to see goals.
Yeah, highlight
so
reel.
I can improve as well. I can learn.
You know, I was just going to ask you, when you look at obviously that Champions League goals from Declan Rice, the 2 free kicks, what was your favorite, the first or the second one?
Maybe the second one.
That
Because
top corner.
That's top corner.
Goalkeeper side and Courtois is not short.
Yes.
2 meters, so need to be a perfect kick.
How did you feel when you saw, you know, him scoring 2 very beautiful free kicks at that point? Did you just be like, damn man, that was good, or did you like, ah? I mean, you need to see our reaction here in the studio. It was like crazy. What was it for you?
It was calm, but yeah.
No, but
I didn't scream, but I say wow.
No, but I love this kind of attitude though, because it feels like, yeah, you know,
It's the opposite of you.
This is Champions League, so we need to expect these moments.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe we can see a big moment this weekend then.
I hope so, from Leganes.
Yes, of course.
No, but funny enough, you know, the few times I've watched Leganes play, in my opinion, I've been very impressed. You know, I feel like you know, your goalkeeper said, any team is capable of winning any team.
Yeah.
You know, and this time around you're playing home. You've pretty much done it away. You've come out with a very good result, right? Let's say you find yourself being in that starting 11. What would you be thinking? Like or when you look at that Barcelona defense, how would you be thinking about overcoming them?
Hard question, but I'm a quick player, so run behind. And they also play with the back line so high, so yeah.
Who would you define as the toughest defender in Barcelona? Koundé?
No, don't let him answer. Okay. I wanted him to say something by himself.
Come on, they're all good players, man.
But who's the toughest one?
Araujo.
Araujo.
Really?
Araujo. Yeah.
He's a big boy.
For real?
Big,
No, because in
strong
my
man.
opinion, I think if I was a player, it would be the easiest for me.
Why?
Nah, because I'm like, listen, I feel like when they are big,
Yeah.
in my opinion, they are easier to run past, you know.
But this guy is not just big, man. This guy have a lot of quality.
Did you see the 2 blocks that Araujo had yesterday back-to-back in the Dortment match?
I mean, we're speaking
It's not
about,
very easy.
Yeah,
We are speaking about Araujo, so this is relevant. Please,
no,
Clinton.
but we're speaking about me now. This is me.
Yeah.
Do you know what my goal records are in Luton?
No one does.
No one does. It's in a library, and
You talked about dribbling and your style of play and going for the goal. Did you have a player that you watched growing up that you idolised?
No, I saw a lot of players, but Cristiano for me
Hi, God.
Oof.
is
It's not a bad one
me
to
is the
idolise.
goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Wait, are you surprised? Because he said he's the kind of player that likes to also watch a direct player, a player that scores goals. That's
Of course.
exactly Cristiano.
No, absolutely. But that is the person you enjoyed watching growing. But who do you think is the greatest of all time? In football? I mean, there's no way we'll not ask that question before you step out here. I'm being very, very careful with that question. It's one of those ones that determine the next club you play for.
for me, it has to be Cristiano.
Damn.
Yeah.
Why though?
Because he started Man United, one kind of player would dribble everyone. After he went to Real Madrid, he changed his style. So he proved that he can play in different circumstances. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
And football is about goals. Yeah. And you have almost 1,000, huh?
It's actually good you mentioned football is all about goals. But is football actually all about goals for you?
For me as a striker,
Right.
As a striker, that is the one thing you have to do.
Yeah,
No,
but
of
Alex
course.
is very much has the same mentality.
No, I mean that's the reason
I'm
why
on
he
the
didn't
same-
even
I'm
think
on
about
the
playing
same
football in
page.
his life. Like, come on, man. Like, this is Alex. But obviously, I respect your, how you think about, goals as a striker, because that's what you would expect. I think my first 3 years for Luton,
Shut up. Tired.
No. You guys need to stop. When I'm saying serious stuff like this, like this is the only difference here is okay. My goals, there are no evidences on YouTube and all of this stuff, but.
It's funny that, isn't it?
Horrible. Okay, how important is Butarque this weekend? I'm at every home match, and even though it's a small stadium in comparison to other stadiums in La Liga, Butarque is never quiet. The fans show up for you all the time. They're screaming, they're yelling, they stand by the team, they're loyal. How important is it to have that, so to speak, 12th man behind you guys, giving you confidence and motivation?
yeah, for sure, they're important for us. So play at home, we have an advantage. So we want them to push for us, as always. And yeah, we will try to do our best to get them happy.
I spoke to some of the fans ahead of the match on Monday with Osasuna, and I was asking them, this season, who have you been impressed with at Leganés? And I had someone in mind as well, but they said the same thing in, of course, Dani Raba, but Juan Cruz. What do you think about him as a player? He's creates a lot of opportunities for you guys, no?
Yeah, Juan Cruz and Raba.
The two.
Yeah.
And they connect well.
Yeah, amazing players, both left foot. So, yeah, they can create goals for nothing. We believe a lot in them. So, yeah, they are doing so well. They are scoring goal, providing assist. And, yeah, it's great to have them.
Would you ever, do your hair like Juan Cruz? Yeah. Maybe some braids, and then next day it's blonde. And is it?
Doesn't matter. He need to play good, and he's playing very good. So yeah, we are happy with that. Even if he can bald.
One day he will. I'm certain of it. One day he will. He started with braids. Now he's blonde with a mullet. Now it's bald. It has to be.
As the manager, I'm sure you've obviously been looking ahead to this game for the last couple of days. What has been the message from the manager coming into this game?
He keep telling us that, like Marco said, we can win against any team. But yeah, we need to trust in the process, go there and do what he wants us to do. And so yeah, maybe no. If we do the things well, need to be a perfect match to get something for the game. So yeah, we will try to do a perfect match and to get some points.
I mean, the question I was just about to ask just before Alex was just nearly the same to what he said. But, you know, the manager has maybe given some kind of speech regarding you guys going into the game. Now, you appear in such a game against a team that's as massive, say, for example, Barcelona, or let's say even Real Madrid, or, you know, the top guys at Leti. You as a player, you know, you're standing just about to pass the ball against these kind of big teams. What's going through your mind at that point? Like, do you have any kind of your heartbeat going ×2 of the normal, or do you just feel like, nah, like your colleague, you know, your teammate said, you know, we beat anybody could beat anybody, like, or do you go in with mindset of, nah, this is Barcelona, or this is Real Madrid, what's going to happen?
No, just another game. They're person like us, so yeah, we go to the game. Of course, before the game, we got extra excitation because it's Barcelona or Real Madrid, but in the game it's like another game, so yeah.
Well, you put up good fights. We already mentioned you beat Barcelona, you beat Atletico at Butarque. Both matches you played against Real Madrid in La Liga at the Bernabeu and Butarque in the Copa del Rey. You gave them a run for their money and maybe should have won, depending on who you ask. But Leganés shows up when it's against the big opponents. Like, it's almost like you feel like you need to level up as a team. Everyone steps up. So it has to give you some confidence this weekend.
Yeah, we show to the big teams that to win against us, they need to do a lot of. So yeah, we'll try to do that. And yeah, that's it.
And the goal remains to stay in La Liga this season. That's what everyone's fighting for in these last couple matches as the season winds down.
Yeah, we are trying to stay here. So yeah, we need to keep surviving game by game, picking points. And I think we will stay because I think we are a fantastic squad. We have great players and we play like a family. So yeah, we help a lot each other, and I think we deserve to stay here in La Liga, and we will fight on the pitch to show that, that we want to stay here. Yeah.
I was going to ask.
Okay, no. I mean, I was just assimilating because as a potential striker for the Leganés in the future, you know, I'm trying to learn one or two from him. But you know, Duke, who would you say is the #1 striker currently as we speak in the world? Obviously, apart from yourself. Apart from yourself, yeah.
Yeah. Stay humble.
I'm going for Victor Gyökeres.
Wow. What is it?
No, that one.
No, I can't do that. I'm a Benfica fan. I cannot do that.
But you spent some time at the Sporting Club de Portugal Academy, didn't you?
Yeah. But I was centre back in that time.
Oh, wow.
That was a long time.
No, but I've told you that the both of us, we have something in common. Because truly, that's how I said in my career as well. I said it yesterday, man. Did I lie to you? I said it. Because the truth is, I kept on building. You know, when I started my football career back in Nigeria, I was a goalkeeper. They used to call me a dame Nkata 1 of SPC. I used to be that good in the goal. But because of my height, obviously, they said, let's take you to centre back. And when I went to centre back, it was like nobody could pass me. Like, literally, Ronaldo could not pass me. You know, and then, boom, they said, you know, I saw people scoring goals, and I kept on thinking, I want to be the one celebrated, and I proved it, you know. So, damn, no, we actually have a lot in common, sir.
A lot.
No,
yeah, because I was centre back and I scored a lot of goals, and they pushed me to striker.
Was it you or was it the coach that said?
The coach. Yeah.
Right, but where would you? Obviously, being a striker now compared to you being a centre back at the time, right? Where would you have preferred yourself to say you want to stay? You would have loved to continue playing? Or what's your, like, of course, now you're a striker. Yeah, they pushed you to, this was the coach, you know, who saw some kind of potential in you, but you were a centre-back, and for you to be a centre-back, it meant you were good being a defender at the time, right? where did you feel like you were more comfortable?
Striker.
As a striker?
Striker.
You like to score the goals.
For sure.
Do you score the goals because you love scoring goals or because of the glory that comes with the goals?
Yes, too.
The two of them. What's your when
The
when
feeling, the feeling.
the feeling is very beautiful, right?
You can describe the feeling.
No, the thing is that they cannot relate to what we are saying.
Yeah,
you know,
they don't.
I mean, they are looking at us like, you know, yeah, let's let them have their conversation.
Presumptuous. Played a lot growing up.
I'm just
Played
waiting
a lot.
for you to go up against guys Kevin.
On Saturday, this is only like a couple of hours away now.
We have to remember that before Clinton came to Sporty, he was known as a Nigerian comedian. And oh my God, it makes so much sense. Here for the laughs.
Wow.
But
Wow.
we do have a big challenge. Clinton is taking on Gaitka Mendiaka at the Leganés and Barcelona match at Butarque at halftime on Saturday. So make sure that you join all of us there. The three of us will be there. Duke, of course you'll be there. And hopefully we get to see you on the pitch, getting some minutes, maybe a big moment for you and a big moment for Leganés this weekend. But we're so excited to see this match and join you there. So thank you so much for joining the show today.
Thank you very much,
It's such
man.
a
Thank you.
pleasure.
I appreciate. You see, I thought he's not Nigerian. Oh, now they get it here, man. My man.
Well,
Thank
ladies
you,
and
man.
gentlemen, it's Duke from Leganés. Thank you once again so much. We'll see you Saturday at the match. Leganés and Barcelona, and Sporty TV will be there. All right, so shall we check in with Chantal and see what's going on social media?
Hi, Sarah. So, social media, as you know, is always buzzing. I have Clinton comments set aside, but I'm not going to start on him.
Oh.
So, AD Samuel says, don't score first against Hansi Flick's Barca. It's a trap. Divine says, Leganés can play better football, but Barcelona will not take this chance for granted. The way Leganés played against Real Madrid was perfect, but to win against Barcelona, they must work on their defense more. Marking Day says, here we go, Hala Leganés. And for Clinton comments, if everyone had Clinton's confidence, what a world we would live in. I agree. I think Clinton will flop. So I guess that's for his challenge that he has on Saturday. And we had a poll running in the comments. Can Leganés beat Barcelona this weekend? 68% said no, but 31% said yes.
All right. Well, we love to hear that because we absolutely hope Leganés can stay up in La Liga, huh?
Yeah, and, well, they'd be the only team this season to beat Barcelona twice so far, obviously.
And they'd be the only team to beat Barcelona in 2025 so far as
True.
well. Still unbeaten, so it'd be massive for them. At Butarque,
The fact that we are having this conversation is actually very good for Leganés. Like us actually thinking that Leganés would beat Barcelona. I mean, I hope it does happen, but
I think also with this, when you get these types of games, no matter how badly you're playing, no matter how out of form you are, these big games, you're up for it so much more than. And these games obviously are a little bit more important now that Leganés need to win. Not every game, but most of their games to climb out of that relegation zone. But there is something extra special, I can imagine, for those players about playing Barcelona, and they'll be really motivated. It feels like the wrong thing, but it's natural that they'll be more motivated for a game against Barcelona or Real Madrid than they would be against Osasuna or Alaves. But I think they'll be really up for it on Saturday night, in front of their own fans as well.
100%. Well, we will have to see, won't we, on Saturday. La Liga, not the only league in action, obviously, this weekend. In fact, even this evening, there's some football, gentlemen. That the hangover from the Champions League as we come into Europa League action. Manchester United taking on Lyon in the quarter-finals. KlintonCod, how are you feeling going into this one? As a reminder, Manchester in action at St. James's Park this weekend in the Prem, taking on Newcastle just 3 days' time. The way the eyebrows went up.
no, you know, I just feel sad for Manchester United, knowing these are two really important games. I don't know if the Premier League one is that important, knowing where Manchester are currently. It's not like even if they win the next 5 games, I don't know where it's going to take us to.
13.
Well, exactly. Like,
Whoa.
and then, no, but I mean, for real though, like
it's slightly facetious.
no, like I still know that, you know, this season there's nothing for the club.
No.
It's more like they're just in a season where we're kind of trying to review the whole new.
It's almost as well. Yes, I don't think Manchester United are going to get relegated. I don't think that's a realm that's we're imagining right now.
No.
They can almost
we already
afford
know the
to,
teams.
and this sounds strange, not completely give up on the Premier League, but
What else left is there?
really focus on the Europa League. Put all of their eggs in that Europa League basket, because if they win the Europa League, they're in the Champions League next season.
Oh, well, exactly. Which is
On the other side of the coin, you maybe could say that they wouldn't want to be in the Champions League, given how bad they've been this season and how much work they have to do to build a squad that could be competitive in that league. But the money that you get from the Champions League and the extra attractiveness that your club will have by playing, yes, it's Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in world football, but to add that caveat of come here, play Champions League football, we're in a rebuild process, things are looking up, we've got a new manager, new exciting players, that could do wonders for their summer transfer window business. They could be paying 10 million less for a player because they're just playing in the Champions League. So if they win the Europa League, that could be a season saver.
Well, let's go to Accra now and welcome to the show Nathan Kwayo of Sporty FM. Nathan, how are you?
Hi. I'm okay. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're good over here. Do you think Manchester United should just give up on the Prem and put all their eggs into that Europa League basket?
I would say yes, but I don't even think they can use the Premier League to build enough momentum. So I think it will be an exercise in futility. If you ask me, they need to take every single Premier League game seriously, get as many points as possible, finish in a very respectable position, and maybe use those games as maybe warm-ups or trainings or whatever to get ready for the Europa League. Even though I think that should United even make that final, and they get to face Athletic Bilbao, they will not win that final at the Mames, I believe it is, in the Europa League. I love that club dearly, but I just don't think they can thrive in an atmosphere of pressure. And should they get to the final and meet Bilbao at home in front of their crowd, I think Man United will wilt and crack horribly.
I forgot that Nathan was a Man United fan. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And Athletic Bilbao, the favorites right now in Europa League, would you guys say? Manchester United still in it. We have Lyon, Tottenham, and Eintracht Frankfurt going head-to-head this evening as well. And, of course, Bodo Glimt and Lazio, the early match kicking off in 7 minutes.
I wouldn't count out Lazio, you know.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on that Serie A top 4 race, because they're still in contention for that top 4 race. I think they're with an outside chance of getting in the top 4. But you look at, obviously they've got a really important game this weekend against Roma in the derby. But if they beat Bodo Glimt, they're one step closer to winning the Europa League. They get in the Champions League next season, and they've been playing some good football this season, Lazio. So I wouldn't count out Lazio, and Lazio is a tough place to go.
Yeah.
When you head to Rome to play Lazio, their fans get right behind their team, and they're going to have to deal with a bit of snow tonight. I don't know whether they've managed to clear the pitch in time. I don't know if
ridiculous, a ridiculous
if you haven't
place.
seen the images at home, look up Bodo Glimt. Have you seen it, Clinton?
not really. No.
Go on Twitter and look at Bodo Glimt's most recent tweet. There is, I don't want to say a foot of snow, but you can't see the pitch. It's covered in snow.
It's covered in snow.
And, well, slightly different conditions than what Lazio are used to back in sunny Italy.
Just thinking about like Norway right now, they're having snow. Meanwhile, it's about 22 degrees outside here in Madrid. I don't know what the temperature is in Accra right now, Nathan.
Definitely not snowing.
Definitely not snowing.
No, it's not. It's mid 30s. Mid 30s.
Dream.
So,
Blimey.
yeah,
Do you ever
that's
get
what we've
snow
been.
in Accra?
No,
Why should we get snow in West Africa?
Let me tell you, this is a genuine question. Like, do they ever get snow?
No, but that's the thing. Listen,
No.
Have they ever got snow?
We never get snow, right? The truth is we don't have winter, right? Now, there's something we call Harmattan. And you know,
Yeah,
Harmattan
the
is
dry
like
season.
the dry season. So it's more like our winter, right? But we don't have to wear jackets like you guys.
No, I mean, I assumed it was never cold, but I'm saying never
No.
Has there never in
If
your
it
lifetime?
snows, if it snows, everybody will go to church to ask God for forgiveness of sin. Because they will tell you that the world is about to end. That's literally what's going to happen. I've seen... I think there was even a time, let me tell you, and this just happened recently in Nigeria, right? Where, I don't know if it was, you know the hailstones?
Hailstones, yeah.
Hailstones?
Yeah.
You know, I think they had like, you know, some of them dropping in some city in Nigeria. And you don't understand the uproar that, you know, how everybody became scared. They felt like what they've been reading in the Bible about how God would eventually come down to earth was about, you know, happening. And trust me, you don't understand the amount of people that give their life to Christ within that moment. You know, and it was almost like, what the hell is going on? You know, but this is... I don't...
If I'd never seen snow before and it started snowing, I'd be pretty petrified.
No, of course. That's what I'm telling you. Like, no, just imagine being in a country where, you know, you would never see, apart from rain coming from above, you start seeing solid stuff, bro. You'll be terrified. This was what... Look, and you know how religious we are back in West Africa, right? But I'm telling you, people were calling their pastors. Like, because, you know... Or has Jesus come already? Because you don't know what it is. Because when I was growing up, right, there were a few things that would happen that were unnatural.
Okay.
That made us, you know, it scared us. So what we did was, me in particular, I started calling my friends whom I know really served God properly to see if they were still on earth. You know, because we had all this whole thing of the moment Jesus comes, you guys will just disappear into this heaven somewhere, and it's going to be like a rapture. Some people came out of their balcony trying to look if people were flying up. Like,
Oh my goodness.
No, but I know it might sound, but when we have all this this natural stuff that are very unnatural for Africans, you know, the first thing that comes to our brain is the whole spiritual, the religious, you know, aspect of them. Is this some kind of sign from God? Is this, you know? So no, we don't get any of that.
That'll be us the day we see you playing football well.
See, the next time you do any joke about my career, my height, Alex, hey, God.
Sorry. I had to.
Low-hanging fruit. All right, Nathan, let's go back to Manchester United in the Europa League this evening before we tackle Newcastle over the weekend. Obviously, they're taking on Lyon. We know Lyon, you know, historic French side here. They no longer have to worry about fighting for the title in France as PSG collected the league just last weekend. Excuse me, oh my goodness. So Lyon as well are now going to be 100% focused on the Europa League. They're fighting for that top 4 position still in Ligue 1, fair enough. But this is their main target, I believe. It's not going to be easy, especially this evening at the Parc Olympique Lyonnais. How do you see Manchester United? First of all, how do you see Manchester United lining up for this one? Because we never seem to know.
Well, yeah, you never know. I think we'll see a lineup that's quite close to what we saw the last time they played in the league. So I think Maguire will play, Lenny Yoro will feature, Mazraoui is going to play, Diego Dalot at right wing back, Patrick Dogu at left wing back. It's the midfield combination I'm not too sure of. I don't know if Ruben Amorim will go with Bruno Fernandes and Uncle Casemiro.
Uncle Casemiro.
You know, and have Zirkzee and Garnacho and Højlund up top. But the problem I have with that lineup is when Højlund does not do anything, United don't have anybody to bring off the bench. I don't think they might throw Chido Obi on, maybe not. But I'd rather have Zirkzee on the bench or Zirkzee starting and Højlund coming off the bench so United can have at least something that has a semblance of firepower to throw at Lyon when things aren't going right. Because if you have both Zirkzee and Højlund on the pitch and it's not working, you don't have anything else to throw at the opposition. So that's what I suspect will happen tonight in terms of the lineup.
Clinton, what do you expect for this lineup?
No, I think he's pretty much just preached to my heart, in all honesty. Like I said, I think, firstly, if we have Alejandro Garnacho, whom we know how powerful he can be when it comes to that wing and how much he's able to run. My only biggest problem with him currently is the fact that he's now becoming one of those players that, you know, if he does, say, 5 dribbles, it's only one that probably goes through. You know, back in the days when he first came to the club, you know, he gave us that Cristiano Ronaldo type of DNA where My one was just so capable of running past people, getting the ball into the 18-yard box, pretty much doing what we would see on a good day for Vinicius, them level kind of players. Even Lamine Yamal, obviously not on the same wing, but we've seen Garnacho play from both wings. He's pretty much very good. But recently, it's almost like that firepower has kind of dropped. But when he's decided to turn up, he would give you exactly that. We've seen games where it feels like Manchester United, especially when Garnacho is coming from the bench, Manchester United is almost like as good as nothing on the pitch. And next minute Garnacho comes in, he almost like something just comes alive. Zexi, on the other hand, too, in all honesty, and I'm sorry, I rate Zexi currently more than in Højlund. Højlund, I can't wait for him to get at that club. Like, I cannot wait. I don't know how long the contract is. I don't know what. I just feel like this guy is a waste. They rather have me right now in Man U than have Højlund.
So
some rumours came out today, actually, that a few Serie A clubs are looking at him in the summer.
Højlund? Oh, please, that's where he should go. I think his kind of play, I think that's where he's probably going to even maybe do better. But I don't think he's up to the level of a Premier League. Yes, of course, you see him, he's hardworking, he's running up and down.
I don't think he gets the service.
Who?
He doesn't get the service.
It's not about the service. No, for me as a striker, it's not just about service. It's about your positioning. And that's the one. No, listen.
But if he never gets the ball, how can you expect?
No, but
he never gets the ball in the right way.
Listen. Let me tell you something, right? We've seen games where, and this is when people come for Kylian Mbappe's head, sometimes, right? And then next minute, you see Kylian Mbappe dropping down to the midfield. And then when the ball eventually comes to that 18-yard box of their opponent, you don't find Kylian Mbappe there. They say, oh yeah, but there's meant to be a striker. And then you randomly see a Jude Bellingham there. And you start asking questions like, but Mbappe is meant to be there. No, it's only because when he feels like the service is not coming, he's trying to go find the ball. And knowing how fast he is, right? He's trying to take advantage of the fact that, okay, if I'm able to get the ball from midfield, I'm able to run with it. And maybe at that time, you see maybe a like of Vinicius or a Rodrigo being able to cover up for them to kind of like shuffle the ball around before they produce a goal, right?
Højlund isn't that sort of player. He's not going to grab the ball on the halfway line and run.
No, that's what I'm telling. That's what I'm telling you, that he's not the sort of player that should be playing for Man U. Like, bro, I'm looking for. If you notice what Zexi does, right? If you notice Zexi is a striker, right? However, most times I feel like he's very deep. He comes down to midfield. He's trying to walk ball. He does what we see from Nicholas Jackson at times, and that's one quality I enjoy from Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson might not be the best scorer, but when it comes to hard work, right? I give it to him. You will literally see Nicolas Jackson, even as a striker, dropping back, trying to intercept ball. Bro, I've seen him do some crazy assists. Even as a striker, he should be the one getting assists. But my man is trying to walk ball for people. But I've told you, Nicolas Jackson is not a bad player. The only problem with him is he just doesn't know how to score as much as I do. That's just the bad side of it. However, but with Højlund, my biggest problem with Højlund every single time is, you will see him sweating. As if he's been running from kidnappers in Africa, right? My man is, bro, where you running? You are chasing ball. Bro, positioning is very important for a striker.
Yeah.
Knowing where to be at the right time. And that's something I would always give to Zexi at least. My man, and when it comes to ball placement, when it comes to the scoring, yes, of course, he looks very lousy. In all honesty, if Zexi is starting for me, I'm happy. If it's not working for him, okay. Like our brother from Ghana said, right, Nathan, bring in Højlund as a backup. Let's see if something will change. But I've never watched a game from Manchester United when I've been like, wow, this guy is the real bro for Manchester United.
But
This guy is the guy I want to see.
When you've gone, wow.
No, but I've seen him do 1 or 2 passes that I'm happy to say at least I have seen. Yes, I have actually.
Striker making 1 or 2.
Oh, yes. I mean, I've also seen him score goals that these are games that, in all honesty, we've given up on, but it's just dunked in one kind of good pass or a good goal.
Xerxes played 46 times for United. He scored 6 times. Højlund's got 24 goals in 84 games, I think, across all competitions. I think when you look at the end product, Højlund is a far better striker.
It's definitely not for me.
They're 2 different strikers. Xerxes calls himself a 9.5.
Højlund is not a striker. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying he's not good for my club. He's not good for the way the club has been set up. In my opinion, he can. Let me tell you. Let me say something. Somebody like Højlund would go to Arsenal right now, yeah, and he will have 20 games and probably give you 10 goals. Because I feel like
but that's
his style of
United's fault, not his fault.
No, that's what do you understand what I'm saying here? That's what I'm telling you, that Manchester United is not a club built for his manner of play.
But no, I thought you were saying he wasn't good enough.
No. I'm saying that for me, he's not for Manchester United. I'm not saying he's not. Like I said, he's a hard worker.
Any of Man United players are for Man United, apart from Bruno.
Sorry, Nathan, do you agree?
I say it's how do I even say it? It's 2 parts, right? It's in 2 parts. And the truth is like 50% on either side. Point number 1, Højlund's positioning as a striker, it's extremely poor. Because I've seen him play games where the wingers are wide, they have the ball. And Højlund is not making a run to either get into space, peel himself off a defender, or just get in a position where he can receive the ball. He's always tussling with center backs, engaging in the physicality. I don't know why he does it. I don't know whether he believes that is the best way to take defenders out of the game. The best way to take defenders out of the game is intelligent movement. And when I look at a player like Edinson Cavani, it is why Cavani scored all the goals he scored. Not necessarily because he was an expert finisher, but simply because he knew where to be at the right time. Yeah. To get the pass, and then he would put the ball in there. And I think that's Højlund's biggest deficiency. The other part of the story is that it is true, and Alex is right. He doesn't get the service. There are times when he will make a good run, nobody passes him the ball. He will sometimes peel off defenders and nothing comes to him. And he'll play an entire game and not have anything. So the little service he gets, he's in a hurry to go past the defender, get a shot off, or try to make the little of the service he gets. So I think he has to do parts of the work. He has to figure out what his strengths are and play to those strengths. And I think he can be coached in terms of the movement, where to be at a particular time to get a pass and be a threat. I think there's a striker in there, but I think he needs a lot of work to take him from scoring 24 or 25 in 84 to doing far, far better across the season for Manchester United.
Fair enough. Anyone think Manchester United has a chance here to win the Europa League?
Definitely.
Sarah, this is what I will say. Before today, or before 2 days ago, I felt kind of confident that, Man United would have a good game. And then Andre Onana went to upset the people at Lyon, and now they'll turn up, play the game of their lives, and probably beat Manchester United tonight.
Nathan, for those at home that don't know the issue between Onana-Matić and Andre Onana, do you want to just summarize it for us?
Okay, so Onana, in his initial comments ahead of the game, said something to the effect that Man United were way better than Olympique de Lyonnais. And then yesterday, Onana-Matić at the pre-match press conference was asked if he had heard Onana's comments, and he was very upset, and he described Onana as the worst goalkeeper in Man United's history statistically, and that he, Matic, and Lyon would not take disrespect from anybody who was not as good as De Gea, Van der Sar, and Peter Schmeichel, and they found that to be very disrespectful. And then Onana came to tweet that, okay, look, I didn't mean any disrespect, but I've won big trophies. Other people haven't won big trophies. I don't know why he went saying that, because what he's done is to upset the Lyon dressing room, and they'll be 10 times as pumped to play this game. And I worry, because when I look at Manchester United, they don't thrive when the opposition is up for it. They don't thrive when the atmosphere is hostile. And that's what Onana has forced Lyon to do. They will turn up the heat, turn up the volume, and Man United will suffer for it. And I just have a funny feeling that Lyon players will take shots at Onana. They will attack him in the corner kicks and make sure he has a very bad evening.
I think so too, especially being a keeper. Like that is the target, right? So we'll see.
For me, honestly, I love the fact that this has happened, because what it's going to do is going to make him even sit up. It's going to make Manchester United players even sit up more, because at this point, they don't want to lose. Because if they lose, I think we're going to get a part 2 of this drama that they've decided to put themselves in, especially Onana. Onana, whom we know sometimes can be very careless in goal. I think today is going to be that day where he's going to be like all these dribble or all these kind of, uncalled for passes that he might want to do from behind. Today he's going to be like, okay, no, today is not that day. Today I want to be extremely careful. I don't want to make any kind of stupid mistake that's going to cost us his game. And yeah, and like I said, Sarah, I've said it so many times on the show, I love to see things like this in football. Like all these upsets. Ram, listen, it's a game.
But if you think about it, this season, Lyon beating Manchester United wouldn't be an upset.
No, they're fifth.
In the grand scheme of things, yes, Man United are a bigger club, what they've won over the years, but this season, Lyon are 2 points off Champions League spots in Liga. Yes, they've not won the title. No one ever gets close to PSG. It's a one-team league in that effect. But and sorry, Nathan, I know that you're big into your French football, but it's been, I think, a while since we've seen anyone really compete with PSG on the domestic front.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Lyon
That's true.
in Europe, yes, they started off the season poor, but they've really picked themselves up and could qualify for a Champions League spot. And the players they've got, Lacazette, Mikhail, these are really strong players that can punish a really poor Manchester United
absolutely.
defence. So
Absolutely.
I think a Lyon
Yeah.
win,
Yeah.
I really don't think it's that's much of a surprise.
No, it's not much of a surprise.
No,
However,
and if you add the fact that Lyon's financials are really bad, they really need to stay in this competition, and they need to finish in the Champions League places ahead of next season for them to be able to even keep this crop, because their finances are in a very, very bad place. The TV rights money that's coming in France is really not the best. So they have different levels of motivations to play, and they will be inspired to go out and give a performance, and they will be fueled up by all the drama, Onana and Matic and all of those things. And it's those elements really worry me as a Man United fan. But but on the flip side, as a neutral or as a journalist or somebody who loves French football, it will be nice to see what kind of performance Lyon can put up tonight against Manchester United.
Well, maybe they'll put up a fight tonight against Lyon, Alex, but do they stand any chance against a Newcastle who doesn't have midweek football at St. James's Park?
I doubt it, especially given what Newcastle have got to play for. They're currently sat in that last Champions League spot now that it's official that England's going to have 5 Champions League spots. Newcastle don't have anything else to play for. They're not in the FA Cup. They got knocked out by Brighton. They've already won the Carabao Cup. They're not in any European competition. That's all they've got to worry about. So for Newcastle, in front of their own fans, given how much we know that St James's Park crowd can get behind those Newcastle players, it's going to be a tough game for Manchester United, given the fact that they're playing tonight. Little rest between now and, is it Sunday, the game that they got against Newcastle?
It is Sunday.
Sunday afternoon. I can't see anything other than a Newcastle win.
Right now,
let's add the fact that it is Manchester United who are coming to town. That's another 25 to 30% of motivation for Newcastle to do a number on them and stick it in and go on Twitter and set out the tweets and have a go at Man United.
At St James's Park as well.
Yeah,
I can feel.
yeah.
Just a few.
Exactly.
Well, right now on Sporty Bet, Newcastle, the favorites, 1.69. Manchester United, 4.76.
And Newcastle were, sorry?
1.69.
And a draw?
4.21.
I mean, to be honest, right, a draw is slightly seeable, though. I mean, you guys don't... I understand, yes.
Seeable, shockable.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything but.
Nathan, if you want a copy of Clinton's new English dictionary, it's available.
What's the other one that was on the show that we're trying to...
I can't remember.
With a C.
No, like I said, this show is not just about football, it's about vocabulary.
We were saying pernickety yesterday.
Yeah, that's another one. Exactly. I told you, every single day is a new one. Now, honestly, we've seen Manchester United face top teams, and we've seen how much they're able to put up some level of fight. We've always said it, that they might face a Leicester, they might probably struggle against a Fulham, struggle against maybe... But when it's time to face teams like Arsenal, Chelsea, I'm not even going to include Manchester City now because obviously they are now not the team anymore. We are speaking about the Liverpools. That's when you tend to see them, even with the level of players that we currently have compared to before. You just know that, okay, they know this is a very big task and they just have to rise up from their slumber and play a game. And if they're able to take up some kind of draw out of it, especially knowing how poor they are, then we're pretty much happy. And honestly, with this Newcastle one, I know Newcastle, if they decide to say they want to play good football. In fact, myself and Nathan, we know we'll just watch it for watching's sake, but we know what the end is going to be. But if Newcastle, we've seen Newcastle sleep before. Like, we've seen them not play to the level of the Newcastle we know them to be. And you never know. You never know. This kind of games, I usually just don't write Manchester United off.
And the last time they faced each other, they lost 2-0 at home to Newcastle.
Old Trafford, yeah.
They're against the Big Six this season. Do you know how many games they've won this season, United?
Against the Big Six.
One.
Who are the Big Six?
City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal,
do we have
Spurs.
City as part of the Big Six?
There are no sort of Big Six in the Premier League.
Well, yeah, they are. City are
I mean,
part
they
of the
are
Big
actually.
Six.
They are because they are still in.
So
top
City,
six.
Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea, and of course
Man United have won one game.
One game.
Wait, so
Yes.
did you just include Man United in the Big Six?
Yeah, they are the Big Six in the Premier League.
How is Man United? Are you talking? Well,
That
like,
is-
are, you
that-
are you talking about like from? Are you adding like past glory as well?
This is the sort of, it's a name, a moniker given to the Big Six. It's the
We
biggest
need
six
to
teams
we
in
need
the
to
Premier
stop
League.
we need to stop all this rubbish now, because the truth is the fact like imagine if I was a Nottingham Forest fan, I would be very angry with this.
No, but they're not in the
nonsense.
Big Six.
No, but that's the thing. Right now they are in the Big Six.
No, they're in the top six.
Hey. Sorry, just
This guy just used English to finish. Englishman, don't win my argument with just one word.
I tell you.
Nathan and
Now that's
Clinton.
Euros back.
Get out of here. You're not getting nothing.
Sorry, Nathan and Clinton, I just want to let you both know that on SportyBet right now, Manchester United are the favorites at the Parc Olympique Lyonnais at 2.59. Lyon, the home team, 2.97. Nathan immediately was like, I don't want to be the favorites. I don't want it. This is the bad juju. Nathan, why the sigh?
No, I don't know how and why Man United are favorites. Maybe because of history, pedigree, or maybe because of Ruben Amorim's run in the Europa League. He's kind of coached them really well ever since he got in through the Europa League. I hope he can coach them through tonight's game, especially the bit about the emotion and the atmosphere, because I feel that if United will lose this game, it's because Lyon will be very eager to stick it in and say, yeah, you thought you were better than us and we are going to beat you and win. Amorim will have to guide this team and coach them through those phases, especially the first 20 minutes. It will be very, very complex. If United can handle the emotion, then maybe they can try and take, feel their way through the game and get something. Apart from that, if they crack in the first 20 minutes, Lyon will have a field day, and they will enjoy themselves this evening.
Just quickly before we check in with Chantal, anyone think that Spurs can get past Frankfurt in this? Oh, yeah.
I think so. Similar situation to United in this way. Spurs have got nothing to play for. They're not in the FA Cup anymore. They're not going to finish in the top 7 of the Premier League. They're not going to finish in the top half of the Premier League. They're not going to get relegated. They're 14th at the moment?
They're behind Manchester United.
Yeah, they're not going to get relegated. They're not going to do anything in the league. But this season, there have been games against the big teams where Spurs have played well. You never know what Spurs you're going to get. You're either going to get a glimpse of Barcelona 2008, 9, 10, 11, or you're going to...
You've lost your whole mind.
I said glimpses. Glimpses.
What?
I'm not saying
You're comparing
glimpses.
Spurs to
No, I'm saying sometimes they can play really well.
Spurs
They
on
can
a good
play
day.
nice attacking, flowing football. Other weeks they can play like they've never seen a football in their life. And you never know what Spurs you're going to get. Frankfurt have been poor since Omar Mamouche left in January. Well, not poor, but they've been off the pace. They've obviously lost their talisman. They're still at it in the Bundesliga. Probably going to finish in the Champions League spot. But Spurs have got all their eggs in that basket. It's that phrase again. They've got nothing else to play for. I wouldn't be surprised if they get past Frankfurt, but I don't think they'll get past Lazio.
Clinton?
Nah, see, I would always count Spurs as one of those teams that you never know what Spurs you will get. This is not the first
Spursy.
time. If you're getting the Spurs that are on form, it's almost like Newcastle as well, right? Newcastle, the difference between Newcastle and Spurs is the fact that
Newcastle's a good team.
exactly. First of all, no.
Yeah,
I mean, Spurs.
and they have a
are you
stronger mentality.
Are you going to say Spurs are not a good team? In my opinion, they are a good team. But the question is this good
Can
team
be a good
teaming?
team.
No. They are a good team.
On paper,
They have what it takes to be. We've seen them be a good team, right? This same Newcastle that we say they are a good team, I've seen them play like they were Leicester. You understand? Like, the truth is, there are only a few teams in football that you would expect to watch them play nicely every week, like week in, week out. I will give a very typical example.
I'd argue in the Premier League there's only one at the moment.
So, which one was it? Will it be Liverpool?
Probably, but even then, Liverpool do have the tendency. They
I
lost
feel
to
like
Fulham
it's
last
not
week,
Liverpool. I feel like
I mean,
it's Forest.
It's not Arsenal.
It's Forest.
It's not Chelsea. It's not City. Newcastle recently have been really good. Aston Villa sometimes. Yeah, I think Forest is probably.
I think
the
it's
only one
Forest.
over the last couple of months.
I mean, I think I wouldn't
Premier
really go that far. I would still include Liverpool because the only reason we are speaking like this about Liverpool is just because of the one slip up in the Champions
That's not
No,
true
they
because
lost- they
you
lost to
wait,
Fulham last
you on this show said you weren't impressed with Liverpool. I feel like this was January because you were saying they were getting wins, but it wasn't convincing wins. This was before PSG. This was in the Premier League.
No. I wouldn't. I would never say that Liverpool are getting wins and they were not convincing wins. If there's anything I would say is, and if
I mean,
they-
that has
oh,
happened.
You said this on the show.
Wolves.
that what?
They beat Wolves without a single shot. In the
They
second half.
barely beat Southampton, and I think it was after that Southampton game. And then this was a lot of. I'm not even talking about PSG. This was a conversation.
But then again, I feel like you've pretty much answered your question. Though they might have not played, but did they win? They won a game. Like for me,
But that wasn't the question, was it? What was the question?
I mean, we are.
Who's the only team that's been playing consistently well week in, week out recently?
Yeah, like for me, and when we're talking about playing well consistently, what's our measure of playing well currently?
I think I
Is it not the
misheard.
win, right?
I think I misheard.
Did you see? So in my opinion, I feel like the fact that they are topping the league with the amount of points that they have, it just means that they've been doing something right, irrespective of whether there are things that you watch. They play good. For example, look at a Brighton. Where is Brighton?
Oh, remember the slander you gave Brighton?
No, of course. But let's be sincere. There are a whole bunch of teams in the Premier League where I would rather watch a Brighton than watch
Aston
Manchester
Villa.
United right now. Aston Villa, I don't know how to explain this, but there are a few teams that we can say that they play good week in Barcelona, for example. In my opinion, right? You will hardly watch.
Yep.
I don't like saying things that make Sarah happy on this show, but we'll be sincere. Barcelona, you would watch them, and you would know that at least you have before the game starts. You pretty much know what to expect. If that makes sense. Now, the only time you will be surprised is when the opposite has happened, but you just know that they are going to give you that quality of play. Newcastle, at least there is an 80% chance they're going to give you that Newcastle that they've been giving us all throughout this season, as well as maybe, I don't know if I would say last 2 seasons or something. There was a season, I mean, they are Brighton, I'm going to put them in that number as well. When they decide to want to turn up, they turn up proper, and they are capable of beating any team, in my opinion, And when you look at the caliber of players that they have, sometimes they even don't have João Pedro, who I believe is their most terrific striker for the team. Sometimes you don't even have him on the team, and these guys are performing, and then you see them doing a substitution, and it's João Pedro, and you're like, wait, hang on. You mean you've been playing like this, and there was no João Pedro? This is fraudulent. Like, what is going on? So in all honesty, I just feel, oh man, I think we've digressed to the point, so I don't even know what brought
We don't even know where we are. Nathan, any faith in Spurs against Eintracht Frankfurt, really quick?
I think Spurs will win tonight. As to whether they go over 2 legs, I'm not sure, but I think they'll win tonight.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's jump to Chantal. Chantal, we haven't spoken to you in a minute. What is going on social media? What are the people saying?
Well, it's always spicy over here. Emmanuel says, Nathan, you just said the bitter truth. We had a lot of comments with persons agreeing with comments that Nathan gave us. We also saw Clinton can lie to save the world. What a hilarious guy. I hope Manchester loses, by the way. I found it funny how he just snuck that in there. Eric said, Rangers versus Bilbao will be an exciting game to watch. We had a few predictions. AD Samuel says Lyon 2, Manchester United 1. We also had a few polls running on YouTube. I'm sorry, I had to read this one. Will Clinton flop this weekend in the mediator test? 64% said yes, but 35% said no. Now in Jamaica, we have a saying, put your money where your mouth there. So translation, head to SportyBet and lock that bet in, because the last time I checked, the odds for Clinton to actually win was 15 odds.
15?
So, if
Chelsea
you
have got
believe
more
in
chance of
Clinton
winning
that
the
much,
Premier League.
get some money.
I'm gonna have to
And
bet
speaking
for
of
myself, man.
bets, persons were asking for booking codes. People want to make money. So do you guys have some codes for us?
Booking codes, NEVER, gonna happen. That's a long booking code. Never gonna happen.
I see how much you guys underestimate me. But the truth is, I think I know what to do, though. I think I'm just going to take all my savings, put on myself, win the
Use that
challenge,
20 euros.
and then, retire early, man. It's very...
Oh, you could alternatively, given how badly Mendieta is going to beat you, upload that video to a YouTube channel somewhere
I'll make more money.
and reap your money that way because people will come in and watch it.
I can't believe how much you guys will rate me, man. But don't worry, Saturday is just by the corner, so no problema.
Okay, let's go through some booking codes then, shall we? I'll start with mine. As you know, we're going head-to-head here over the weekends. And the games that we have on Sporty TV this week in the Premier League, Southampton taking on Aston Villa. I'm going with both teams to score in this one. Aston Villa have a very big match next week. Leganés and Barca over 3.5 goals. I see a lot of goals, and I'm not telling you where they're coming from. Bayern Munich versus Dortmund, both teams to score. The last Der Klassiker wasn't as exciting. I'm hoping this one will be. And Dortmund, at this point, they need it for themselves after what happened to them against Barcelona. And we also know Harry Kane can't stop scoring. So I think both teams can score in this one. And finally, Atalanta and Bologna. And I'm back in Bologna all day. I'm going for the double chance here, away or draw to Bologna. And that will give you a total of 10.60. Now, I went first because the two gentlemen beside me have decided to lose their whole minds. But if they get it right, what a weekend it will be for them. Alex, let's start with you because you've gone for the exact same games as me.
Yeah, I've really backed myself on this one and I've gone, like you said, I've been a bit silly. I've had a little flutter. And my odds, obviously, these are subject to change, but 50.81 for my booking.
50 points what?
81.
I should have gone.
50.81. 50.81. But when I read these out,
Okay,
with my reasons,
we'll break it down.
you're not going to laugh.
Break it down.
Southampton are playing Aston Villa this weekend. Aston Villa are 3-1 down in the Champions League. They've got the second leg at home at Villa Park. They need to come back to stay in the Champions League. They're going to be fully focused on that one. Southampton are already in the Championship. They're not bothered how things go out. They've got the freedom in the world. They've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Southampton to beat Aston Villa. That's my first pick. Second one,
Whoa.
Bayern Munich.
We'll come to you in just a moment, Nathan. We'll go through the whole thing and then we'll break it down.
Bayern Munich versus Borussia Dortmund. This one is probably one of the more sensible ones here. Both teams to score.
Okay.
Leganés versus Barcelona, over 2.5 goals. And finally, you're not going to like this one. Atalanta versus Bologna. I've gone for Bologna to beat Atalanta.
We're on the same page here, my friend. Nathan, I heard a chuckle when we spoke about Southampton.
No, it's
See,
not the
Alex,
Southampton.
Like, I just think that, and Nathan, tell me if I'm wrong, that even a rotated Aston Villa, everyone beats Southampton. And this is Unai Emery. This isn't Joe Schmo, new to the Premier League. This is a world-class manager who knows that they still have to push for that top 5 position because they might not be able to beat PSG, and it is Southampton. Nate, what do you think? Do you think Alex maybe got a little too carried away, or is he onto something here?
I don't understand the origin of that prediction that Southampton are going to beat Aston Villa. Look, if it happens, Alex, you have my eternal respect, and I will call you a god from this day onwards, should that happen. But it will not happen. Aston Villa are going to beat Southampton.
And it was come to worse, even it might probably end the draw or something. But
I was actually going to go for the draw, and then I stayed away from picking it in this one. But sorry, I'm just looking at what else you have.
Villa, I think Villa.
No, because you know what will happen? Southampton will win, and then it'll be 1-0 to Bayern Munich because that's how it goes in the Bundesliga.
But I'll still be smug because Southampton won.
But you won't have the 50 points. I don't know. Let's see. Clinton, let's go.
I think I personally think what Alex is playing at is just to see a Southampton win. He'll be very happy with just that.
Yeah, I mean, even
and
if the
he'll be
bet
okay.
does not go through, he will just be happy with
Even
it.
if
He'll just
if
be
you-
happy
Even
that
if you don't
Southampton
back
wins the
my
game.
booking code, maybe just put on your own bet Southampton to beat Aston Villa.
Aston Villa win 3-0.
Speaking of,
That's not going to happen.
Well, now we'll see. Clinton, you have a booking code as well, but you've not gone for the same games as us. You've gone for a little swirl of games here.
I went for 10 games.
10.
Oh my God, your booking code says and many more.
And many
Well,
I'm gonna read it.
sorry, just to be clear between the three of us, were we all not supposed to pick the same games over the weekend?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think so, actually.
But
I think
Clinton does what he wants.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Wow, literally as you said that, producer in the ear, Clinton does what he wants. So, Clinton does what he wants. I love that it doesn't even fit on the graphic, and many more. All right.
But don't worry, I'm gonna read it out.
All right, everyone
Okay.
settle in.
I mean, we have time, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you thought mine was wild.
Sorry, 72 points. Yeah, but he has 10 games.
I have 10 games, 72.52. Okay. Well, the first one I've gone with Brighton to win Leicester at home, right? I've gone with Nottingham Forest versus Everton, both teams to score. I mean, you guys should let me know when you feel like I've.
No, yeah,
So
we'll
far,
Yeah.
I agree.
Manchester City versus Crystal Palace, I've gone with both teams to score.
Yeah.
Real Sociedad versus Mallorca, I've gone with over 1.5.
screams 1-0.
Well,
Especially
I
with
don't-
League
Sounds
out.
like a 1-0 game.
Yeah, it's a 1-0 to Sociedad. Call it
Okay.
a day. Mallorca's been on the down.
just remember this comment for Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. For Leganes and Barcelona, I think we all went with the same thing on this one.
I went over 3.5.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And I know you always trust Lamine and Rafinha, Lewandowski. So yeah, it's definitely possible. Not after coming to gaslight the player we just interviewed as well, to make him feel like they're going to do something special.
You're so horrible. Keep
that
going.
I can't believe we did.
Clinton, behave.
No, it's okay. No. No, because but it's good. They are going to go into this game now thinking that, but let's wait.
Horrible.
All right, okay. So, and then for Las Palmas and Atleti, I've gone with Atleti win.
Las Palmas and Atleti.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Wait, do you mean Atleti or Athletic?
Atletico Madrid.
Oh no.
What?
Just relax.
That's next weekend.
Sorry, are you serious?
Clinton.
Nathan, this happens all the time. Atletico Madrid are taking on Real Valladolid this weekend. They will be in the Canary Islands next weekend. That's April
Come on,
19th
Clinton.
against Las
And
Palmas.
wait.
All right, let's finish.
So,
Wait,
Clinton, you read your 10
Clinton
and
has
we'll
added-
check
It's
in.
fine.
He's
No.
added that to his
I'm still going to read it out. I'm still going to finish it.
Yeah,
because
yeah, but we won't
this
know.
booking code, no, we wouldn't know until they play that game.
Well,
all right?
I mean, unless one of them doesn't hit, and then you're just sitting there for fun.
My God.
Oh, wait, I actually wonder when is the day, Clinton, we'll figure out the booking codes. Because this, I think, is the third time that you've done this, where you've screwed up the weekends.
Wait. You guys don't know that with myself and my booking code, I go according to how my spirit leads me, though. It's not, I don't go by the weekend or whatever you guys do. It's what I hear. I hear stuff, and they say, Clinton, put this game. Wait, listen.
I think we're going to have to change this Clinton does what he wants thing.
No, wait. Let's finish it up. Let's finish.
My God.
All right. But anyways, I went to Atletico win for whenever that game happens.
Probably in May. You might as well put the Copa del Rey final in there.
Alex, stop, please. Let me finish this stuff. Wait.
We're only 5 out of the 10 through here, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm nearly done.
Okay.
And then Deportivo Alaves and Real Madrid, I've gone with obviously over 2.5 on that one.
At least you picked a game this week.
Yes. I think that might be the only game that's not in this week because, anyways. Then Bayer Leverkusen, Union Berlin, I've gone with Bayer Leverkusen win. Inter Milan and
We're all making sure that they... Nathan, we're having to fact check right now, making sure that these are all the correct games.
So you had, sorry, say that again. Bayer Leverkusen.
No,
even
they're
check.
playing on
let's-
Saturday. They're playing.
you know what,
It's fine.
the only one
let's-
game was the Athletic game.
Well, let's see.
Let's even check.
And
Let's
then
even
after
check
Bayer
if some of
Leverkusen, you
those
had-
games.
Stop that, please.
Let's even check if some of those games are even fixtures in the current football season.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
of course. Next
Ipswich to
season's
beat
matches.
Yeovil Town. Go on.
No.
Bayer Leverkusen to beat Union Berlin, did you say?
Yes.
And then what was the one after that?
That one was Inter Milan,
Against?
Cagliari,
Cagliari.
Yeah.
That is actually a game this weekend.
Yes. And then I've gone Juve.
Oh, God. Against who?
I know what you're going to say. Milk. You're going to say milk.
Lecce.
Yeah, that's good. You've got that. What have you gone for in that one?
I told you it was just one game, right?
Yeah.
And all of these games are sure.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Wait,
you, apart from the one you
What was the odd for the Juve game? I'm actually curious.
136.
And you gone for Juve?
No,
win.
you gone for Juve. It screams 1-1. Screams 1-1.
Jesus Christ.
It's Juve.
Yeah.
But anyways, I know what I hear. And guys, everything is
I know what I hear.
72.52.
And guess what? You won't find out for a week and a half.
Well, you will, because one of them will fail this
Yeah, one of them's going to fail, then we'll just be sitting on it.
Are you guys wishing me bad luck right now, like before?
No,
No, we're
we're not. I
What do you mean realistic?
The thing
though?
is,
What's so
Clinton,
realistic?
even if you get 9 of the 10 right, we're not going to know until another, 10 days.
When I say being realistic, can we get the graphic of our head-to-head table up, please? We've been going for, 2 weeks now?
Nathan, look at our head-to-head.
The score at the moment,
We are all 0-0, right?
yes.
Okay, so
But
what's-
that's why I'm saying we're being realistic.
We haven't, Nathan, we haven't,
but
we
imagine-
haven't
no,
got
but hold
any
on.
booking
No.
codes right
no, but hold on though. But hold on. Imagine,
Okay.
imagine.
in the last 2
But
weeks.
hold on. Imagine this bet goes through, which, in all honesty, I've done this so many times before. Yeah. If this goes through, do you know how many weeks you
but
guys
Clinton,
could attempt
we'll have to
chase
wait.
that my
We'll
number?
have to wait until next weekend.
Yeah,
to
the
see
thing
if
is, we might
all of
have
this-
some points because we'll have this booking code if we get it right, and
Yeah,
we'll have
but
next
I
week.
like the fact that if you get it right, yeah. But imagine if I get this one right, yeah, Sarah.
I will be older by then. All right. Well, listen. Those are our booking codes. We'll keep you guys posted on Monday with Alex and Mides. And then we'll come back the Monday after to do it all over again. Nathan, I wanted to quickly ask you because Alex and I were focusing on that Atalanta and Bologna game, and both of us here favoring Bologna, maybe myself a draw or away. Alex is going for away, but we've seen Atalanta on the downfall of late, and they've not been impressive even at Bergamo. Do you see Bologna being able to pick up some points here?
Nope.
I am more inclined to think that that's very possible. I've seen Atalanta in the last few weeks. They haven't looked like themselves. I think a bit of the confidence is gone. They are struggling to put teams away. There's something that's slightly off about the team. It just looks like a dressing room that maybe wants the season to end very quickly. It's just not worked out for them in terms of even the chase for the Scudetto. So I would not be surprised if Bologna gets something. Bologna, if you look at how they have handled the season, they just have it in them to go to Bergamo and go and get a result. I won't be surprised if it ends in a draw. It looks like a game that can easily end up being 1-1, and Bologna pick up a point, and they'll be very happy with that.
Yeah. I think it could happen, that chase, Alex, between 3rd place and 4th place. But we also have another massive match in Italy, in the capital. It's the derby in Rome, Lazio and Roma at the Stadio Olimpico. Lazio obviously in action tonight in the snow at Bodo Glimt. By the way, that match is still 0-0. Chelsea also in action, Alex, 0-0 over in the Europa Conference League, if anyone's kept up over there. But a lot of pressure here on Lazio, obviously being in action in against Bodo Glimt, and the season that they've had has been really impressive. And then hosting their, city rivals over the weekend. But that should also be another really good match over in the Serie A.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, both teams vying for a spot in the top 4. Lazio just above Roma in that 6th spot, 2 points above them, but just 2 points behind Bologna, who occupied that last Champions League spot. Roma on some really good form of late, and the job that Claudio Ranieri has done there has been fantastic. Both teams coming into this game, despite having played really well, form goes out the window for a derby like this. Is one of the fiercest derbies in Italian football. It's of a similar ilk to a Grand Derby that we had with Sevilla and Betis. The passion in that city and the animosity between those two teams is something that we rarely see in other games around the world, and it's going to be a cracker. I think, I don't know, it feels like it's going to end in a draw, maybe a tool. Entertaining though. Goal.
Entertaining. Hopefully, maybe Lazio. Maybe that you think Lazio can get it done tonight and against their city rivals, Nathan?
I think Lazio will draw tonight's game and they will draw the derby over the weekend.
Oh, just draws all around.
Yeah, I look, I've seen the kind of work Ranieri's done at Roma. I just think that I don't think Lazio can get past Roma in that derby. I just don't see it happening.
Well, crazier things have happened in football. So, I
Yes,
mean, if this
exactly.
week has been any proof. Nathan, before I let you go, give me a score prediction for tonight's Manchester United-Lyon match.
Oh Lord. Okay. so obviously my heart would want Man United to win by 5-0. That's not gonna happen. I think Lyon will win this game by 2-1.
Okay. What do you think?
Wait. Did you just predict against your team?
Yeah, I just did. I think United will finish the tie off in the second leg, but I think they'll lose tonight by 2-1.
Lyon have been playing. They've only lost 2 of the last 10.
They're playing at home,
Bro,
too.
Manchester United, they're winning tonight.
You think so?
It's literally the opposite of the scoreline he just played. It's going to be 2-1.
2-1 to United.
Yeah.
Who's scoring?
I would be delighted if that happens. But
Don't tell me
when-
you'll be
when you look
delighted.
at-
No, you can't. Well, after you've wished us bad, you delight. Keep your delightation. That's another English.
Delightation is nice.
My God.
Delightation.
Who's scoring then?
I see Bruno Fernandes on the score sheet.
Anyone else?
Bruno Fernandes again.
2 for
Literally, there's no one else you trust. That's why.
And for Lyon?
For Lyon, I don't know.
Lacazette?
Lacazette is actually a very good shout.
Mikhail Tadze?
Let's leave it for Lacazette.
Okay.
All right, Nathan. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoy the Manchester United match this weekend, and maybe things will go United's way. Who's to say? But we hope you enjoy the weekend. I'm sure
fingers
we'll see you
crossed.
very soon.
Fingers
That kind
crossed
of
it works. Thank you, guys.
cannot be
Thank you,
crossed,
guys.
guys. Don't keep that finger.
All right, thank you guys for having me. I'm sure we'll speak soon.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Nathan.
Luego.
Hasta luego.
Semana.
Hasta luego.
Dude, he said it before you.
No. I gave him something new to learn.
No, he said it before Clinton. Well, Nathan's practicing his Spanish. And before we go to Chantal and all of you guys drop in your comments, I'm sure there's some juicy ones. This is what's coming up over the weekend. On Sporty TV, after today's show, we have Al Ittihad versus Al Arabi over in the Saudi League. And later on, more Copa Libertadores with Internacional taking on Atletico Nacional, excuse me, hands up for that one. Tomorrow, we have more Copa Libertadores action with Sao Paulo taking on Alianza Lima and FC Tokyo in Kashiwa, Shandong versus Shenzhen, and back to the Saudi League for Al Ettifaq and Al Hilal. On Saturday, it's Osaka versus Kashima, Sydney FC versus Auckland, Plymouth versus Sheffield in the EFL, and the I really can't do this today. The Premier League match that we were talking about earlier. Southampton taking on Aston Villa, Bayern Munich versus Dortmund in Der Klassiker, and the big one on Sporty TV, Leganés hosting Barcelona, which all 3 of us will be at. On Sunday, over to Argentina for Blaugrana versus Boca Juniors. This might be the worst one I've done so far. Western Sydney versus Western United. Atalanta and Bologna over in the Serie A. Birmingham versus Peterborough. And we'll end it all off with Panathinaikos versus PAOK. So I'm so sorry for my butchering of those ones this week. But that's what's on Sporty TV. Let's go to Chantal and see what you guys are all saying at home.
So I picked out, of course, the best comments. Rosie said, I'm sure United will lose versus Lyon, and I'm hoping to see Spurs destroy Frankfurt. Now, we all had a good laugh at Clinton's booking code. Marking Day says, this man is living ahead. Future. Emmanuel says, it's better to play Alex booking code than Clinton. You know, I see this a lot where persons give love to Alex's booking code. Clinton, you need to fix that. Barcelona. This person goes by the name Barcelona. Alex is back to his normal bow tie, so he's paying attention. And again, Clinton, you had the comment section popping up over that booking code. AD Samuel said, he hears stuff indeed.
I always hear, and yes, I do.
These sort of voices that...
You know those voices that you were hearing like from 2 days ago after smoking what you smoked? Bruh, this one, I didn't have to do anything inhaling, but I heard it really loud and clear. So my 72.52 odds, I would advise anybody to take advantage of it.
And you'll
I-
find.
so just- yeah.
If my booking code does not come in, your one is not entering.
Yeah, but I'll know before you, anyways.
Yeah.
I'll know
I don't
in
have
a
to
couple
wait until-
days.
I don't have to wait till the end of May for mine.
Ridiculous. Okay. Well, as we usually do this on Thursdays now, we like to take a look at what's going on across the world of sports. So let's take a look at this.
Hold on tight, sports fans. Here's a wild roundup of some of the most jaw-dropping moments from around the world. Some recent, some not so recent, but all unforgettable. Let's start in Germany, where a soccer match got cancelled in a totally unexpected way. A kid bites the referee. Yes, a testicle bite leads to an abrupt game stop. That's one for the history books. Over in Dubai, Emma Raducanu's match took a strange turn. She hid during play. Was it nerves, a fan, or something more? That moment still has people talking. And let's not forget Brazil, where the football world went into chaos over a new rule: yellow cards for players standing on the ball. From shocking bites to strange breaks and controversial rules, the sports world never stops keeping us on our toes. Hold on tight.
Welcome to the show, Nua. Lots to talk about here. What do you want to dive into?
Absolutely. Let's start with a funny note, shall we? The testicle bite.
Wow.
Testicle bite. Who bites somebody's testicle?
Apparently, it was in Germany. A kid bit a referee's testicles.
Hey! Hold on, wait. Wait. No.
Yeah.
No way. Right. This story is crazy.
And the match was cancelled for that.
Wait, no, hold on.
Sorry.
Hold up. Wait, is this actually a real life true story?
Yes, it happened last month.
No, wait, hold on. Sarah, because I want to, I want to go into the process at which this happened. Wait. So, no, because obviously you are the pioneer of this story, right? Wait, like, did the ref do something?
No.
Okay.
That's the funny part. He was just minding his business. He was checking some info on the players, and then he just got bit out of nowhere. And he looked down, and it was a little child. It was one of the players.
What do you mean it was one of the players?
No, not
one of the players' kids.
Kids, yes.
Wait, one of the players' kids was hungry. Well, let's start from here. No, wait, hold on. No, hold on. One of the players' kids felt hungry, and maybe he must have said, "Daddy, mommy, I need food," and then the dad is obviously on the pitch, I guess.
Yes, he
Yeah?
was warming up with the players because this is like the A division of German football.
It's actually unreal.
So children are allowed to be on the pitch with the players
Yes.
before the game.
Yeah.
So they were all warming up, and then the referee was checking his stuff, and then he just out of nowhere the child bit him.
Wait, hold on. But this child, yeah, have they investigated to see if this child was actually human? Like, was it? Wait, because. Okay, hold on. But how did the child now go, right, walked to the ref, and then did he go under, like wait, but how did
Oh, it was the left testicle, by the way.
wait.
Why do we know?
Oh, so we actually know what testicle it be.
We do, because there was a whole report on everything, because the match was canceled because he had to go to the hospital.
Oh my God.
It was
That somebody wanted to eat him up.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, because we need to go deep into this case, yeah? Because now, the child, was he, because I guess the child had to go through the trousers or the shorts, because the ref must have been wearing shorts. So I'm guessing the child beat both the jersey or the shorts plus the testicle at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, but at least, was he satisfied? The child, like, did he feel like, yeah, he was?
See, we don't have a report on that. We only have what the referee thinks. We don't have what the child thinks. And how we can't.
There's
we
no
don't have the
post-match-
psychology
there's no
behind the
post-match
child.
interview.
No, I mean, this is not a post-match. This is a post
Pre-match.
eating. No. This is a post-food interview, like, because that was a meal, you know.
Mark, Mark-Ante,
Man, this is
what is happening? I don't know, Mark. We are not serious. I have no idea. Okay, what else is going on, dude? We got to move on from this.
Well, on a more serious topic, obviously, do you guys watch tennis, maybe?
Do what?
Tennis? Do you
Yes.
watch tennis?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, did you guys know what happened during the tennis Dubai duty-free championships?
Yeah, I mean, they were playing tennis.
Of course they will. And then you had Emma Raducanu. Do you know what happened to her?
Yeah, she took her bat and...
And hit the ball.
Racket.
No, sorry, the racket. Yeah, she took her racket.
I mean, I know what happened, but you say it.
Okay, tell us what happened.
So the match was starting, she was playing, and then she just panicked and went to hide. Do you know why? Can you guess why?
Yeah, maybe because they beat the hell out of her from the tennis, or why would anybody run to
If
hide?
only it was that. It was because...
Or somebody beat her.
No.
Okay, well, I mean, assuming she has a testicle.
No, I think it was way more scarier for her. She actually saw someone that she recognized in the public that was stalking her.
That was what?
Stalking her.
What do you mean stalking?
She saw a stalker.
Stalking.
Oh, stalking.
Stalking her.
Oh, sorry, so it was a French accent that confused me there. But hang on, wait. She saw somebody that was stalking. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, she saw a man that was staring at her in a very weird way.
Right, okay.
And then she got scared because she has a passive with stalking. She's been in the industry since she was 18, and she had her fair share of horrible people. Someone went to her house. Someone stole her dad's shoes. They left gifts for her in her house. So she's, of course, when you think of her past, when you see her go through something like this, you're like, it really sucks for her.
Really, she should be reporting that to the police because that can be very risky. At the end of the day, I think that can be scary, especially for a lady as well. Turning up to random stuffs like that. I do hope that she was able to take it to the right authorities for them to try to stop such.
Obviously, I am sure Sarah, you know about this, but when you're a woman in the sports industry, you're open to way more harassment, especially like the sportswomen. They're open to way more harassment from the public than the men, and then women who aren't in this industry, because obviously it's an industry that's dominated by men, and so majority of the people watching are men too, and so they think they have this access to women that they actually don't. So yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, I think you just need to be careful. Yep. Luckily, she's somebody that has the money to have a good security team.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And not all women do have access to that, so hopefully she's, keeping herself safe, keeping her family safe.
Been given a 5-year restraining order, and he's got an electronic tag.
Okay.
His ankle.
Okay.
I want one.
Okay, I mean, that's... So there are people actually trying to pay me to stalk them, just to let you know. But, right, let's say the next
All right, what else?
Do you guys know about Brazil's new rule?
Yeah, they
And
should
why
not
it
be
happened?
climbing on the ball.
They should not be climbing on the ball. Exactly that. And did you know that football players are not okay with that?
Which is very...
We're not okay with that. When did we talk about this?
Yesterday, actually.
Oh, we did talk about this yesterday.
Yes,
I was going to say, I brought this up. It's all a blur this week.
No, we spoke about it yesterday.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Jogo Bonito comes from Brazil, and we talked Showboating. Yep, it's all coming back. All of you, I don't know what you guys think.
There's a Malaga player that went through the same situation, and we just saw the clip there of Depay, Memphis Depay. To be honest, I think it's a bit ridiculous. If you're playing in a sport, why not? If you can't deal with that sort of stuff, you shouldn't be playing sport. Yes, there's the argument of showboating and it's sportsmanship, but let people express themselves.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'd rather go after the people that are whining to the ref or constantly diving. Because like I said, that's not involving the skill in the football. That's just slowing down the game. So, yeah, I think it's ridiculous. It's the passion in South America, as we know, especially from Brazil when it comes to football. Let them play. Ronaldinho's made us smile for so long. Neymar's made us smile. Why do we want to stop smiling when we watch football?
But Sarah, you know the one question I was going to ask? What is, how does that affect anything, though?
Oh, no, it's just people, I think people are just looking for a problem. And people are thinking, they need to be more proper than that. And Yeah.
So do you agree with Neymar? Because Neymar came out and he said football is becoming more boring.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
I think we've
with
said
him.
it on the show a lot this
totally
year,
agree with
actually.
him. In all honesty,
Football's not the
I
same.
think football is changed, and you know the funny thing, if care is not taken, they're going to even make it more boring to the point where it might not really be as exciting as what we see today now. I mean, in my honest opinion, it's not as exciting as what it used to be, but I see it even getting even worse.
I think it's so funny because when we were talking to Duke today and you were asking him about the kind of player and who he liked to watch and all that, I could see how when you asked him about the kind of player that he watches and, you know, he likes direct football, he was saying, because he's a striker, and we can appreciate that. But I saw your face because I felt it too.
No,
because we were thinking we'd rather enjoy a player. It's not just about stats. And that's what football has become too.
Absolutely.
XG and goals and assists.
Absolutely.
Look at these guys. And I always go back to Ronaldinho because he, of course, scored goals.
God,
but
these
you would
names,
watch
man.
Ronaldinho just dribble up and down the pitch. And he didn't even need to score, but the way he would carry that ball, the way he would go through players, like that was jogo bonito. And like, honestly,
Sarah,
I felt that when he said that.
No, of course, Sarah, people even forget about the fact that we would randomly go on YouTube and
No,
have
I
searches.
still do that.
Oh, I mean, I do it. I do it.
Sickos.
I do it.
We're sick. I do it at night sometimes.
Literally.
On a Friday night, I'll watch old Ronaldinho highlights on my computer.
No, for real. Literally, I would type in JJ Okocha dribble, Neymar dribble, Lionel Messi dribbling. These are the things that I want, and it gives me joy.
I searched yours the other day, but nothing came up.
Alex, let's be serious for once, please.
Sorry.
Please. No, but on the real, you know, honestly, I nearly was going to tell Duke that I'm sorry, you know, in my opinion, your style of football is boring to me. Yeah, I know what, as a striker, all you're thinking about is just to score goals. But for me, that's not football anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Football is basically, of course, the goal should be the end product. However, enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Give us the show.
100%.
It's meant to be a show. For me, football is an art, right? You need to understand the art of football. When you're on the pitch, let people enjoy. Let it not just be about just getting the ball at the back of the net. The reason I started watching football, I may not have started watching football from the back of the days of Diego Maradona. Of course, these are my age mates. Yes, I know that's bad. I'm just trying to kill whatever. No.
You said it.
I'm killing the
it
joke
was
before it
more
comes
Pelé,
on.
but-
I'm killing the joke before it comes on. But but Ronaldinho, I didn't. In fact, it was not when he was in Barcelona. I didn't even care about the goals. It was when he was doing the snake bite. Yeah? You know, literally walking past people. I don't care about what eventually happened. That's why when people say, I don't like JJ Okocha because every time he dribbled, all his dribbles were and ended up with nothing. Of course, but there's a reason why he has his name. There's a reason why JJ Okocha, there's a reason why, in as much as he may not have the status that a footballer of his caliber should be having when it comes to international football, as much as we respect, the likes of, say, Roberto Carlos, Gaisca Mendieta that we spoke to. In all honesty, I never knew who he was, but gladly we now know who he is, right? But there are when you mention the likes of JJ Okocha now, all people, especially us Nigerians, the first thing that comes to our head is how skillful he was.
Yeah.
When you mention Ronaldinho, it's how skillful he was.
I used to watch a program that had a section called All Aboard the Showboat. And in that, they used to show the best skills from the week with some sort of catchy tune on it. And me at 7, 8 years old, sat in front of the TV on a Saturday morning watching these players do all these tricks. You remember most of them, you saw them were in the Premier League, but they got them from all around the world. You saw, going back to the Premier League when they had some fantastic players. And the skills that they would do, and then you go out in the back garden and you try and recreate them, and you get your ball and you try end on end, and you play the rest of the day until 3 o'clock, and then the football kicks off and you go back inside and you watch more football and you try and recreate what they've done. But growing up, watching these players on the TV and seeing the moves, the one that always stuck out to me was a player called Adel Taarabt. I don't know if you guys remember him. Played for QPR, played for a number of other clubs, but at QPR, he was always in that. And those skills that he did, the step overs, the flicks over the head, it was just a joy to watch.
You know the thing, right? I remember speaking about when I was mentioning Ronaldinho, a few seconds ago, Sarah. When I was in my high school then, and we saw, back then obviously we didn't have this beautiful phones that we have today. It was phones like Philip where they had
You
to
didn't
send.
have phones. You could just say
No,
it.
funny enough, I had a phone. No, funny enough, I did have a.
Wait, what kind of phone was it? Like the brick?
No, it was a phone. It was a phone called Sajem. Do you know?
what?
Do you know
What's that? Like a Nokia?
It was Nokia was one of those.
Is
in the
that,
days.
is that,
But there's one
is
called
that the name,
Sajem.
Is that the name of the carrier pigeon?
No. This is literally.
How do you write
Wait,
that?
no. You guys don't tell me you don't know Sajem.
S-I-A-G-
Sagem. Oh my God. Wait,
S-A-E-G.
Nigerians, please tell me you know Sajem on our comment section. Ghanaians.
These ones.
Yes, but they had different types.
That's
Okay, but do you know
really
the.
old.
No, but. Bro!
Wow.
What am I? What? How do you spell it?
Sagem. Even put up. Wait.
Sajem.
Find Philips.
Philip. I know Philips, the brand.
Yeah, Phillips. I
Philips,
know.
but do you know their phones from back in the days?
No.
Exactly.
Oh, I know these
my-
ones.
No, but I don't blame. Alex is only like 23 years old, so obviously I'm speaking about like
Mate,
15
I don't
years
He's been
ago.
there for
Sajem.
phones.
Sorry?
No, but he's been there for these phones.
No. I'm
We were
sure that this was when you were just born.
My dad used to have a phone.
Well, I mean, Alex,
my
listen.
dad's 69.
Your dad is 69. but listen,
Maybe you are too.
you never know. Maybe myself and his dad probably went to the same secondary school. Who knows? But
Yes, my dad. My
no.
English dad grew up in Nigeria.
Okay. Can I ask you guys this question? Maybe Sarah, could you remember any time where for you to transfer a picture to a phone, we use something called infrared?
What's
What
that?
was that?
What
other-
the?
You do.
What was that other?
Infrared?
Infrared!
Well, no, what was the other one? Was it?
Hey!
And I'm really showing my age here. Dial-up.
Dial-up. Isn't that like internet?
Yeah. Well, you'd have.
But what does that have to do with
But
sending
these are
photos?
That's what, no, I'm
Jesus.
saying that's what the old internet was called before Wi-Fi.
No, I'm happy that some guys are literally saying that they didn't know Sajem phone. I'm shocked. Now I'm actually like dead as shocked.
I've
Like,
lived the first iPhone.
I think the Sajem phones, the equivalent in England at the time was the Nokia brick.
Yeah, but Nokia was
remember
like
Nokia
Nokia was like dead popular, right? But when I talk
Or a
about
BlackBerry.
no, hold on. When I speak about infrared, infrared, you have to bring the two phones together.
So,
No, for real. That was the first mode of transferring pictures.
So
music.
airdrop?
AirDrop.
No, basically, yes.
Bluetooth.
No. Bluetooth is different. It was more like what iPhone, you know what two iPhones does now? Where you have to, yeah. That was
AirDrop.
infrared from these old phones. If your phone had an infrared at the time, you were a big boy.
Were you?
I was actually, because the truth is, I was one of the only few students in my secondary school. We were like, my secondary school was like 1,000 students. We were like three students that had a phone. My
Was it
dad did give me a
before the war.
No, it was after World War II.
What war?
But Sarah, what's even bringing this whole story regarding this phone?
Why are we here?
No. It's because I was trying to tell you how we're seeing all of these skills from the likes of Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Right?
we get on
So no, hold on. Yeah, that's what I'm bringing you back.
All right.
So then you would have all these kids whom in their Sajem phones they had these little short clips of a player like maybe Roberto Carlos or Ronaldinho that were doing these skills. And you saw every student trying to just come watch to see this. And we went to the pitch, on the field. Everybody trying to recreate exactly that stuff. We were not trying to recreate goals. We were not trying to recreate assists. We were just recreating the skills that we saw from these guys. Now, Harry Kane, all these other strikers that... Listen, let me tell you one truth. And I'm sorry I mentioned Harry Kane. Harry Kane, what does he do? They score a goal.
But there were strikers back in the day, like Harry Kane, that didn't do skills. I'm thinking of the likes of Peter Crouch. There are strikers up there that were typical number 9s. Your Jermaine Defoe's, Peter Crouch, Alan Shearer. These are strikers that would just get you goals. But there were players up there, Dimitar Berbatov, who was a striker but also had some brilliant skills. I mean, the flicks that he did, I think, that one against Aston Villa. There are players that had both, but still players that could do the goals, and that was it.
Unfortunately, we have to go. We've ran out of time here. We'll get into our favorite players, our favorite phones of the whatever 2000s. I don't even know. But guys, once again, a reminder: Leganes and Barcelona this weekend at Butarque on Sporty TV. Clinton, Alex, and I will be at Butarque doing a pre-match, a post-match, talking to players, getting you guys ready for the match. And KlintonCod will also be challenging Gaizka Mendieta on the pitch for halftime. We will be showing you that as well. KlintonCod will finally put his football skills to the test once again. You guys all have a chance to win this beautiful Leganes jersey with Sporty TV and Africa on it. We love this jersey. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel in order to be eligible. Now, Clinton, let's end it off with telling the people that you actually were trying to get ready for Gaizka.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you trained with Sporty's team, Leganes.
Absolutely. That was a very huge pleasure. You know, being trained by their first team goalkeeper, their centre back, whom when you look at
Onana-Matić.
Yeah, I mean, you helped me with them pronunciation. But these are like proper experienced guys who were training me on how to, even Neu as well, the midfielder. It was such a pleasure. And when I say to you guys that I'm very, very ready for Saturday, you guys will understand. Mendieta think this is a joke. Bro, half-time, Leganes versus Barcelona, when they are in their dressing room, myself and Mendieta, we are going to be literally at the same pitch where I'm going to be humbling the so-called I am a legend.
Well, let's take a look at Clinton's training with Leganes now.
After my failed transfer to Leganes, I am back to the club to prepare for my challenge on Saturday. Mendieta has no idea what is coming.
Clinton, what is this? You are late, brother. Hey. Come on, my friend, you are late, brother.
For you.
Sorry, man. Bro. Sorry, man. Let's go to the gym, brother. Let's warm up. Big man. What? It's easy for you. Go. Little bit quicker. Dale.
Too easy for you. You can do it.
Few more.
20.
Good warm up.
Yep.
Let's do next one.
Go, come on.
Mendieta is tough opening. Not enough, brother.
Stronger.
You have a tough challenge in front of you. Yeah, it's better. No, nothing, brother. Let's go on the pitch and let's see what you can do on the pitch, brother. A little bit more, dale.
You can do it.
You can do it. You can do more, brother.
They will kill you.
Let's see if you can get past me.
Watch me.
Clinton, look me, like Declan Rice. Here, very strong here. Okay, let's do it, man.
Don't listen him. Change the sign. For sure. Let's go.
Let's see if you can score the penalty.
Clinton, you have to stay calm, concentrate, and shoot strong. Okay? Let's do it.